Hey guys, Slimber here, and today we're doing a fucking video on Ben Shapiro. Figured I'd look as douchey as I could in the beginning. Anyways, yeah, we're doing a video on Ben Shapiro. He's talking about the whole Joe Rogan, Bernie Sanders thing. Certain things I kinda agree with him on. Certain things is just like, oh, fuck off, you're just like straight up incorrect. Like some of the things he says about Bernie is just like incorrect. The shit he says about Rogan, alright, cool. But the shit he says about Bernie is just straight incorrect. So we're just going to go ahead and review that, shall we? Let's play the video.
In the 2020 race, I am amused by the radical left. I'm amused by them. So yesterday, Joe Rogan, who's a friend of mine, right? Full disclosure, I'm friends with Joe. I think Joe's a good dude. We disagree on a wide variety of topics. But what's fun about Joe is that Joe is really open-minded. He's willing to discuss with anybody. Like, he'll have anybody on his show. He'll have tons of people from a variety of different viewpoints. He's had me. He's had Bernie Sanders. He's had Barry Weiss, and he's had people who I think are wildly not Barry Weiss.
Look, here's the thing.
Fine. Listen,
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm kind of retarded.
I mean, he's had people from virtually every area of life. Well, Joe Rogan was asked by Barry Weiss on his show who he would be likely to vote for in the California primaries, and here was Joe Rogan's answer.
I think I'll probably vote for Bernie. Him as a human being, when I was hanging out with him, and I believe in him. I like him. I like him a lot. What Bernie stands for is a guy who, well, look, you could dig up dirt on every single human being that's ever existed if you catch them in their worst moment, and you magnify those moments, and you cut out everything else, and you only display those worst moments. That said, you can't find very many with Bernie. He's been insanely consistent his entire life.
Okay, so Rogan is saying what really is Bernie's appeal, which is that Bernie has been this old commie for his entire life.
Ben Shapiro, I don't think you know what a fucking commie is. I'm literally hoping you're just like kind of over-exaggerating there. Because if you're stupid enough to think Bernie Sanders is a fucking communist, well, I don't know, you might be stupid enough to think that. I mean, I used to think you were like, you know, one of the smarter conservatives, but then I saw your Israel shit and your abortion shit, and I was like, huh, maybe Ben Shapiro is a fucking moron. So if you're stupid enough to really think that, let me let you know, communists, they don't believe in private property. They don't believe in, they believe in everything belongs to the state. Bernie has never, ever, ever come close to proposing anything like that. That's like a big thing in communism, and Bernie has never proposed anything like that. Bernie isn't even a socialist because he doesn't even believe in the full redistribution of wealth. He's nowhere near a fucking commie, dude.
Now, I don't find that appealing, right? I think that his ideas have been bad since basically he emerged from his mother's womb at age 82. But like he's like the high school principal in Back to the Future. The man never had hair, right? I mean, that's he was always like this. But that is his appeal, right? The appeal of Bernie is the authenticity. It's the reason why people have not turned to Elizabeth Warren. They feel she is inauthentic.
Inauthentically Native American.
People who like Bernie believe that he is authentic, and so they're like, okay, at least he believes what he believes, and that goes a long way with Joe. Now, again, I disagree with Joe on this. I think Bernie Sanders is a trash heap. I think he's awful. I think he associates with the worst people. I think that he champions the worst people. But
who does Bernie affiliate with that's really that fucking bad? Who? I mean, fuck, Trump literally affiliated with Jeffrey Epstein, a fucking pedophile. Who does Bernie affiliate with who's really on that fucking level to be considered one of the worst people? Like who? You're starting to sound like the neolibs that are like, oh my god! Bernie accepted an endorsement from Joe Rogan! The worst person! Oh! Like, Jesus fucking Christ, Ben Shapiro. You're so fucking whiny, dude.
It's hilarious that the left, which has no problem whatsoever with Bernie Sanders hanging out with Linda Sarsour, no problem with him being endorsed by Sean King. No problem with Bernie Sanders touting the endorsements of some of the most radical people in American life.
I wish you would give examples of how they're radical because, well, first off, I only know who one of the two people you listed off there are, Sean King. And I'm not too familiar with him, but from my understanding, he's just with Bernie's platform. So, which isn't really that radical when you compare it to the rest of the fucking first world countries. Maybe it's radical when you compare it to America, which is just fucking the retarded child that England had. But, you know, We can have a giant fucking military budget, but we can't have universal health care. Right.
Joe Rogan said that, right? He said, I'd be likely to vote for Bernie Sanders. And Bernie Sanders had the temerity to put that up on his Twitter page. And now that is trending #1 on Twitter. #1. Not because Rogan said that he'd be likely to vote for Sanders. That's not actually a huge surprise, right? Joe is an out-of-the-box dude. It really is not super shocking. And authenticity matters an awful lot to Joe. The reason people are mad is because Joe Rogan has had people like me on his show. And the fact that Joe Rogan has had people like me on his show means that Joe Rogan is a very bad man who's very bad and very bad. And that means that Bernie Sanders touting his endorsement is really awful.
And this is where Ben Shapiro actually gets it fucking right. Because here's the thing. The neolibs whining about Joe Rogan. Oh my fucking God. They're trying to find any reason to paint this dude as homophobic, as racist, as transphobic. Literally, they're pulling up fucking tweets from 2012 that aren't even homophobic. And they're like, this is homophobic. You say you find it oddly alright when two gay guys kiss. They're not here for your pleasure. This is homophobic. Like, what the fuck? You gotta be straight downright retarded if you make me agree with Ben Shapiro. Dude, I have the fucking biggest hate boner for Ben Shapiro, dude. Like, my dad fucking hated Glenn Beck. Ben Shapiro is my goddamn Glenn Beck, dude. Like, straight up.
Because Joe Rogan believes things. Like, sometimes he says that men are men and women are women, and that men should not fight women in MMA.
Okay, second half of that, perfect. First half of that, worded horribly.
That's a thing he has said, and that is quite terrible. And also, Joe Rogan is a comedian, which means he has said very politically correct and offensive things in the past. And that is very bad. And so now, Bernie Sanders is being attacked by the woke left for the sin of touting the fact that the most popular podcaster in America, right? I mean, Joe is huge. That Joe came out and said that he would vote for Bernie in a primary or is likely to vote in a primary. The left is so self-defeating.
Are these people really left-wing, though? They're more like former Kamala supporters or former Hillary supporters, current Klobuchar supporters. And I guess Warren is technically left-wing, but they don't support her for her policies. Warren supporters or Biden supporters. Bernie's really the only true, like, fully left candidate in the primaries right now besides Tulsi. These people aren't really truly left-wing, my guy.
And Bernie deserves every bit of this, of course, because Bernie has courted this. Right? For all the talk about Bernie's authenticity, here's where Joe, I think, is wrong. Bernie is authentic until the point where he is challenged, at which point he backs down like a little pansy. Right? He is absolutely authentic until the point where he's attacked on it, and then he runs screaming from the room. To give an example, he was endorsed by Cenk Uygur.
It's Cenk Uygur, my guy.
So Cenk and I have our disagreements. To put it mildly, you can find a debate with me and Cenk online.
Do those disagreements start with you not being able to pronounce his fucking name, dude? And look, if you were just any other person, I would just assume you've only read the name. But you've had fucking debates with him. Like, public debates with him, where you've clearly heard his name before. You are supposed to know how it's pronounced by this fucking point, Ben.
It's a pretty fun debate. Hey, Cenk is running for Congress out here in California. He also has a big show called The Young Turks, which is weird since for a long time he didn't believe in the Armenian genocide. But in any case, Cenk has a long history of saying pretty wild things. Okay, but Cenk was always a Sanders supporter, right? He always supported Sanders, right? Like, he's always supported him. And so Cenk endorsed Sanders. Sanders said, thank you. And then people started filling up Sanders' feed with all the things that Cenk has said over the years. And Sanders basically withdrew his endorsement of the endorsement. He basically disassociated from Cenk, which is the most gutless move in the entire world. I mean,
well, shit. I guess Bernie really it doesn't have principles. Or, I scroll down in your comment section. I see somebody corrects you on it. I go look into it myself. Sees the media's try to spun it. But there's literally a fucking tweet from Cenk Uygur before Bernie's retraction of his endorsement that says, I will not be accepting any endorsements. With Bernie responding, well, not in a direct thread, but in a tweet he posts himself that says, basically I like Cenk Uygur, I respect him, and I respect his wishes to not accept any endorsements, therefore I am retracting my endorsement. You literally either didn't research this, or you're straight lying, Ben Shapiro.
Super duper gutless. It's not like Cenk was hiding the ball. Cenk has been Cenk forever. Yeah, the same thing with Rogan. I would not be surprised if Bernie Sanders backs off of this.
It's been over a week and he hasn't, so I don't think he will. I mean, it didn't sound like he was going to retract from the Cenk thing until Cenk fucking tweeted about it. Maybe get your facts right, Ben.
I would not be surprised if Bernie Sanders pulls down the tweet and says, while I'm grateful for Joe Rogan's support, I don't agree with everything that Joe Rogan says, blah, 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 blah. That would not be surprising to me at all. This is, and he deserves that. I mean, that's what he has facilitated the rise of this woke left. He has. He didn't have to. He could have been the guy standing up to it, but he has facilitated that rise. He has catered to that rise, and now he's feeling the blowback from it.
How? How has he done that when he's been mostly attacked by them? They've literally attacked him and said, even at the debates, how can you, a straight white old man, be president?
Candidates, let's make things interesting. Former President Obama said this week when asked who should be running countries that if women were in charge, you'd see a significant improvement on just about everything. He also said, quote, if you look at the world and look at the problems, it's usually old people, usually old men, not getting out of the way. Senator Sanders, you are the oldest candidate on stage this evening.
And I'm white as well. Yes.
How do you respond to what the former president had to say?
I got a lot of respect for Barack Obama. I think I disagree with him on this one. Maybe a little self-serving, but I do disagree. Here is the issue. The issue is where power resides in America. And it's not white or black or male or female. We are living in a nation increasingly becoming an oligarchy, where you have a handful of billionaires who spend hundreds of millions of dollars buying elections and politicians. You have more income and wealth inequality today than at any time since the 1920s. We are the only major country on earth not to guarantee health care for all people, which is why we need Medicare for all. We are facing an existential crisis of climate change. The issue is not old or young, male or female. The issue is working people standing up, taking on the billionaire class, and creating a government and economy that works for all, not just the 1%.
Literally, they've been attacking him with that exact, the woke fucking, Jesus fucking Christ, Ben Shapiro. Do you not pay attention what's going on? Do you not pay attention? Are you in your little fucking own bubble there, Ben Shapiro? God damn, dude. So fucking irritating. You are straight insufferable, dude.
So fine. But it is amazing that the world the left wants to create, it really is an incredible world. I mean, Rogan has had on a variety of Democratic candidates, and many of the candidates have asked to come on, and he has said, I don't really want you to come on, right? But Andrew, give you another example of how the woke left is ruining America. So Andrew Yang, right? Andrew Yang is, according to the Emerson poll, now running fourth, right? He has like 8% in national polls, according to some polls, which is amazing for a dude who's been completely shut out of the media. Andrew Yang had the temerity to appear with me on a Sunday special where he had an hour-long discussion of universal basic income that was completely cordial and interesting and fun and informative. It has millions of views online. He was blasted for the sin of that. Blasted for it. One of the reasons Andrew Yang is popular is because Andrew Yang is willing to have conversations with people who disagree without demonizing them.
And here's the deal. I strongly agree with Ben on this. Holy fuck, I strongly agree with Ben Shapiro on something. But Tulsi Gabbard gets attacked for this. Andrew Yang gets attacked for this. I can't even stand the fucking people they've gone on. Like Dave Rubin. Oh my god, he's such a fucking fraud. Ben Shapiro, he's just straight insufferable. But I agree with it. Go to the other side and tell them your story. Don't just go on MSNBC or the Young Turks or some fucking shit. No. Fucking also express to the other side. That's what you're supposed to do in a fucking election. But you have these dipshit neolibs that are like, they're endorsing Ben Shapiro. How dare they? Like, what the fuck, dude? And to the annoying ass SJWs who are like, Ben Shapiro's part of the alt-right. He's not a part of the alt-right. He's an annoying ass neocon who's probably more like Ted Cruz or George Bush.
Meanwhile, you get Pete Buttigieg. Pete Buttigieg has catered to the woke left every step of the way, very early on in the campaign when he first announced, I invited Pete Buttigieg to come on the Sunday Special. And his campaign manager said he'd love to come on the Sunday Special because at that point he had no attention. And then they got so much blowback that he just ghosted, right? Then it was like, nope, don't exist anymore, not interested in coming on, not even going to respond to emails. Okay, that is not how you build a coalition, obviously. But the Democrats are not interested in building a coalition. The woke Democrats, at least, are not interested in building a coalition. And let's be frank about this. I hate giving advice to Democrats. Let's be frank about this, Democrats. If you are going to force Joe Rogan out of your circle, if you're going to say that Joe Rogan cannot, you cannot tout an endorsement from Joe Rogan because he said some bad things about how men are men and women are women, good luck to you. Good luck to you. You're going to have to win some people like Joe Rogan if you hope to win an election. And you want to push Joe Rogan over to my side of the aisle? Keep doing this kind of stuff. Seriously. You want to push people like Joe Rogan, people like Andrew Yang, over to my side of the aisle? All you have to do is keep being vicious jackasses all the time and dredging up old comments and then suggesting, well, this person is very bad. This is a very bad person.
Why do I, the neolibs, have to make me agree with Ben fucking Shapiro? Why? Let me get this clear. He is 100% right on that. He is 100% right. And my thought is, why are they fucking denying Fox News the debates and still hosting them on CNN, who's asking biased-ass questions to Bernie Sanders and then taking fucking lies and acting like they're fucking true? Why? He's fucking right about that! If they're gonna be on CNN, why aren't they on goddamn Ben Shapiro's show? Why aren't they on goddamn InfoWars? Like, the fuck? Anyways, leave a dislike. Call me, I don't know, a fucking anti-Semitic Jew? I don't fucking know. Fuck you. And yeah, Slimber out.